feeling better?
Yeah.
You recovered?
All right, you give me a call.
There's a thing about
We're good on everything,
going
yeah,
like
all the
this.
recorders are going.
recovery time. Like,
Well, one of the guys came there with,
So
gave it to the guy I was rooming with. He couldn't even, midweek, he couldn't even go out. He just stayed and slept all day.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to February's planning board meeting. Kind of touch and go whether we were going to cancel this one or not, but I'm glad we didn't. So let's call the meeting to order and we'll pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. So, because we have a quorum tonight, we will not be asking the alternates to step in. So before we get started on our business, we have something that we want to pass out to the public. It seems as though there's been some scam going on, originating with basically the town of Olive Planning Board has sent out. The scam was that they were reaching out to applicants and asking for some increased fees and so forth. Maybe Max, you've got a pretty good handle on it.
They did like a web crawler kind of thing where they would bring up all the people who are on the agenda, and then they would send you an email and basically demand funds or ask for funds, and it wouldn't align with the fee schedule that matches the town's. But scammers are getting incredibly creative. I'd never seen anything like this before. It was brought to our attention by our attorney. She had received an email, or a different applicant, I believe, had received an email for a different project in Olive. And so if you get an email from anybody asking for money, don't send it to them. All of that interaction needs to happen. The safest bet is to go right to the planning and zoning office and handle it internally there, or over the phone at the very least, to confirm before you start wiring money to anybody or sending checks to anybody. Make sure that you're actually dealing with the town and not somebody who is acting like the town.
So be warned.
$6,000 payments. Oh, New Paltz too?
Yeah.
My client, she was doing a basic site plan. The bill came through at $7,000. So she called me saying, I'm going to sue. And I said, wait. Doesn't make sense.
send me 35.
It was pretty crazy. New Paltz too.
Yeah, we, just to clear it up, the town of Marbletown does not request planning fees via a wire transfer. And like
Or
Max,
via an email without any communication.
yeah.
Unless it's directly to me.
So I would say to anybody that receives a fee request, that seems to be a little odd, run it by us. Okay. So first up is Ulster Savings Bank. And Nadine, I don't know if you want to
Hi,
give
everybody.
us an overview of what's going on.
Yeah. So just for the record, I'm Nadine Hardy from Peak Engineering, and John from Ulster Savings Bank is also here on behalf of the bank. So as you probably all know, that site plan for the Ulster Savings Bank finally received its final approvals last year, and building permit for the build permit. So the site work has started there. So right now, basically the application, the use is still the same. It's for the bank. There's been some minor changes with the building footprints a little smaller. We've reduced the parking area. One of the major, if one of the major changes from the original site plan is that we're shifting the whole project forward a little bit. When we were moving into construction and got the actual survey done and they located the rock outcropping, it was more forward in the site than originally believed to be. So, let me go to the next page. We can just go over this a little bit. So looking at this, the rock outcropping has been located, it's labeled on the plans now, and the whole shift was really to bring this forward. The building footprint itself shrunk a little bit, but notably from front to back. So from the 209 to the rear property, it's much narrow. It used to be a very square footprint. So it's a little bit more narrow and a little bit longer, kind of east to west and side to side. And the layout is significantly the same. The access from Route 209 is the exact same place as previously approved. The drive-in is the same, and then the parking layout is similar. There are some changes that we can go over, but it's mostly a reduction. We took out the parking row that was right up against the building, so the lane kind of drives across there now. And then as you go through the overhang with the drive-throughs, they're in this pretty much the same location, and then the drive lane goes out. So everything's just kind of shifted forward. I know the code enforcement officer has reviewed it. There was the comments about setbacks from 209 with the design guidelines. The guidelines say you have to be 100 feet from the road. When the original site plan was looked at, it was determined that they were going to do the 100-foot setback from the center line of the road. This was way back when it was the commercial building for Stonebridge Shops. The zoning compliance table stayed the same with this project. So when we're looking at the shift forward, we kind of kept that. We kept that 100-foot setback requirement from the center line of 209. We can talk about that a little bit more too. So that's what we held. So the building itself, the very front corner is 89 feet from the edge of 209. But we still have a landscape buffer along the front. It's got reduced a little bit between the building and the driving lane out. The things that did stay the same, like I said, is the access point and the septic locations. So we don't have to go back to those agencies for those approvals. They're in the same location, the same design. And yes, so we're closer to 209, but the positives is that we've increased the rear setback. The parking lot itself was only about 20 feet from the rear neighbor, and it held that kind of all along the property line. So that's increased substantially. We have a reduction in impervious area, and we have a reduction in the overall site disturbance from this new layout. So there's some positives, and you can go over the exact numbers, what the differences are. One of the differences that doesn't show up on this is we're able to reduce the underground storage for stormwater a bit. So we're going to be submitting the calculations for that to show what that is. Would you mind just going to, there's a utility plan with the utility
Is it on this one?
Yeah.
Or- Yep, keep going.
Keep going. This one. This is my favorite because it shows everything. You know, it shows the entrance, it shows the grading, it shows the septic, it shows all the utility crossings. So, so again, the septic's in the same place. We did have to move the septic tank and the pump chamber, you know, to go with the building movement. The stormwater, which is under the parking lot, had a little branch that came out, had a few more chambers that was able to be eliminated. So this is the main portion, very similar to what was proposed before. And we're only, the only place we're getting with the rock outcropping.
Someone give her
Yeah.
a laser pointer, please.
That.
Okay.
You have one?
Yeah, please.
No, she's done.
Well,
All right, so, yeah, so the rock outcropping is all along here, and we have a little area for the diversion channel that comes around. It's kind of at grade, but there may be a little rock hammering here. Before the parking lot came down and around over here, and that would have been a lot of rock. So we're able to eliminate all that. Any questions, or I can definitely get into a little bit more detail.
are you going to go into more detail?
I could if you want me to.
I was curious about your roof mounted solar, future carport.
Yes,
When would be a good time to build the rooftop solar?
that's a good question.
Yeah.
And we did ask, so Rick Alfondre is still the architect on the project, and we did ask him about that. They're building the roof to support it, should they, add the solar on.
So it's not in the plans.
So it's not in the current building plans, except other than the roof will be structurally staff supported. And it will
That's
be on
them.
the south and west sides of the building like it was before. So it's the end and the rear side, so that won't even be seen from 209.
This is not in the budget, is what you're saying.
Not for the initial.
You did spend a fair amount of time on this, this little
Connector.
crossing here.
Yes.
Maybe you can talk to us about where that stands.
Right, so there has not been any additional, obviously, we still incorporated in the plans. We will point out that it does line up, it used to be back here, so there was some parking that had to come out for the plaza, and this would be the loop around. So this does line up now with the driving lane that's in front of the pharmacy. But there has been no additional communication with the owners, and we were actually just talking with Max, who, as part of the town board, may reach out to them. So this plan does allow, this grading plan kind of has a berm here, but on the other plan, we do show proposed grading so that this location still can be graded to have that access.
So it really depends on discussions with these guys as to
Yes,
whether
right.
you're gonna,
It's
forward
designed and
with that.
reserved for the connection, but, if they don't approve it or accept it or allow it, we can't make it.
But you can pave it now and go up to the line?
So right now, we have our paving ends here. We have a storm drain that will be installed, and this will be graded to meet the existing grade here. Because it is
it's a pretty substantial,
Drop down.
exactly, yeah. So we can't really pave right up to the property line because we have to go into their property to allow for the grading. So there'll be kind of a berm here now, but if they do agree to allow the cross easement, then it can be constructed and it's been designed for that.
No, I understand.
yeah,
I
we
just-
were
I'd like to
far from
push.
opposed to it. Actually, seems like it makes a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of
It's
sense.
a no-brainer.
Yeah.
You put everyone at risk to go back out on the highway. It's only getting worse traffic every day.
So just to be clear, you are planning on doing at least rough grading in that spot.
So the grading, this is the end of where the parking lot, there's gonna be a little kind of turn off. This is the end of the parking lot. And this is just gonna be graded from the edge of the parking lot to the existing grade here. Again, because that's all we can do. But the storm drain will be in place. So if this ever gets graded up, it'll blend right with the existing parking lot and can be graded right onto the other property.
So I would assume that if you know, prior to the wrapping up the site work and stuff like that, if we do get a
Yeah.
positive response from them, that we're gonna go
Yeah,
through with it.
it can be done, absolutely.
Site, Mullen and Sons were doing site work, did remove trees that are clearly on our property. Actually, there were a few that were laying on the ground that were crossing the border that they cleaned up as well. So the area is cleaned up.
Yeah, and if you remember, there's a storm drain that comes from the plaza here, and it comes from all their stormwater that's out front. And then there's a roof drain or a footing drain, I'm not sure that discharges here. So the site was designed to capture their stormwater runoff and divert it from the site and around and to the same discharge point here. So, currently, you know, with the construction, the ground has mostly been frozen, but last Thursday, you know, after the rain and the thaw, there really wasn't much runoff at all. And at this location, these culverts, this has been replaced by two 12-inch culverts at this point, and there is no runoff even getting to this point. This is all clean and dry and doing well. We did submit building plans so that you can see with the elevation and the renderings what the new building looks like, which I almost forgot what the other building looked like. It was
Laura, do you have that?
massive. It was
I
massive.
think you sent them
and,
us some emails.
and, yeah. They changed some of the materials, you know, having kind of a stone on the base of the building, and then actually, no, it was a separate plan set. Yeah, so the structure is a little simplified, but the colors are coordinated with the bank colors. This is the view from 9. I don't know why it's one of the smallest, but you know, it is broken up with different roof lines, and it has a large cupola. This is basically from the parking lot, so this is the main entrance to the building. So it's a lot lower also because the building was 2 stories previously, and now it's just a 1-story building. So the roof line is still fairly high, but it's a lot lower than the previous building.
So if I remember correctly, the upper story, the previous design, there was some talk about it being like a community room or
Conference or,
They were gonna have a kind of a conference area for sure, and.
That's still in,
offices.
it's in this plan though.
All right, that was my next
With
question.
a separate entrance, separate bathroom, so the building does not have to be open for someone from the community to use the space.
Mhm. What is the siding material?
Yes, that's something from Rick, he was a little snowed in, so basically, the finishes are gonna be, a fiber cement board and batten siding. This is over the stone base, but the exact selection for the stone, they haven't made yet. And on the rendering, you can see the stone along the bottom. And the roof finish is gonna be a standing seam metal roof.
It's a nice looking building.
Yeah.
So we really need to kind of walk back to the,
Setbacks?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Laura, would you just bring up the site plan again, sorry.
Yeah, this one you want another.
The first one I think is probably just more simplified. Yeah, so, the zoning compliance table is just a little bit off to the right. And it's basically, we didn't change any, the table was there on the approved plan. So the dimension from the center line of 209 was basically, what we had said originally. So the original approved plan had the building set back about 140 feet from the center line of the road. So that made it 120 feet from the edge of the pavement. So, we didn't talk about it back then. So, so when the Stone Ridge Shops was done, and I don't remember all of the conversation because it was a long time ago, but, some of the things that they considered when picking it from the center line instead of the edge of the pavement, one of the big items was all the other buildings in the area. They are significantly closer to 100 feet off of 209. So that was one of their, I think this is obviously set back even more than the existing building, but buildings across the street that are up in town are much closer to 209. So that was one of their considerations. One was obviously the aesthetics of the building. That was big. So we still think that we meet the design guidelines when it comes to that, as far as, breaking up the building, the roof lines, the colors, the windows. So, yeah, so what we would present to the board is that the original approved plan had it from the center line. So we would ask for that to get held. And if the board does not feel like that's in the spirit of the approved plan or the design guidelines, we can definitely talk about even altering the 100-foot from the edge of the pavement by 11 feet due to these other items.
So that measurement is actually to this,
Yeah, that's the
closest.
corner, right.
what's the dimension between the main part of the building and that alcove or whatever that is?
That's a good question, yeah, because we measured it from this closest point
Right.
to the edge of the road, which is 89, and then if you continue to the center, that's 108. I want to say that this is 10 feet, so
Just
it would be
about.
99, but
Yeah.
7 feet, yes, yeah.
Anybody have any feelings on the board about this?
Sure.
John,
No, I'm good.
you have no feelings, huh?
Sometimes I don't.
Unusual.
I have opinions.
Well, we are certainly, we would like to consider granting a waiver, considering the, everything else seems to fall into place. I guess we'll get to that in a little bit. Wait.
Yeah, you may want to accept it.
So you may want to accept the application first.
Yep. So is there anybody else have any questions from the board to Nadine or?
Oh, it's nice.
So at this point, I guess we would like to, I need a motion to open and accept the application.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. You need a roll on this or? Okay. And we need to classify this.
It's a reduction, so
Yeah,
prior application.
class 2,
Unclassified.
Unclassified, yeah.
unclassified. We'll need a motion to classify it as unclassified.
The motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that carries.
Secret.
Have the lighting, the only other comment.
Oh, right. Yeah, we talked about this. So going through we're looking at all the prints. Have you developed a lighting?
No, that is one thing that we do want to ask. And I don't think we still have contact with the lighting consultant that did this originally. So on the plan, you do show the light locations, which are in the same spots where they were previously, and everything was shifted up. There's one or two here, and there were some along the function area. So we have, these are the same lights as proposed, and we do have the foot candle outreach to show that it doesn't go off the property. Basically, from what we had, we don't know if we could develop a full photometric with all the foot candle readings, but we have the lines around it that we can definitely add on for the lights if we have them. If that would be acceptable to the board.
Yeah, I think that would be.
Okay.
that would
All
be
right.
fine.
We can
You already approved all the
definitely add that.
specifications, you're
Right.
just looking for the.
Yeah, and like I said, we're obviously further from anything in the back. This is basically the same distance from the 30, so we're not gonna have any issues. This is the same location along here. And these are the only ones that are a little closer to 209, but there's really very little overspill behind the light, so we'll definitely get those on there. One thing I should mention, because I forgot, we've had several meetings with Central Hudson because they're moving some poles out there and they're also raising the lines. So the pole that's going to be in this location, this is like a general location of the new pole. They were worried about raising it too much because then they wouldn't be able to get to it from 209 or something like that. So they asked, and kind of offered it up, is a pad for them to pull off right in front of the pole. What we're proposing is to do.
On the inside, on the bank side of everything.
Yes, so right around the drive-through, there would be a pull-off here. This would be basically for Central Hudson's use. And we were working with the architect a little bit about possibly using pavers or some sort of reinforcement. So we'd either grass it or something else, just so people don't come over here and pull off and then, So we're gonna do something that this is not going to be obvious, that it's not gonna be just blacktop. We're gonna be doing something there so it blends in a little bit naturally and also that it's a stable area. And we did propose landscaping local along the front like that too.
Does that impact at all future walkway or sidewalk if it ever goes forward?
No, because the future sidewalk is
Right up there, okay.
And then it would come down this area. We're grading a little bit, but we're actually working much more with the existing grades in that area. So
You're gonna have some kind of signage, or how are you gonna keep the public from,
yeah, we've talked about that a little bit, whether we're gonna use bollards or, we don't exactly know yet, we definitely wanna keep it so that it's not a pull-off for everybody. And, so we're still kind of working through that a little bit, but, it may end up being some sort of grass, reinforced with grass cover.
Like the geotextile.
Yeah, geogrids or something.
With,
Yeah,
it's not gonna, like,
Yep.
because really, Central Hudson is the reason we're putting it there. We don't really need that for anything.
any further discussion? Anybody Bring something up?
Sounds good.
Okay, I think that at this point, there's no further comments on the waiver of the setback. I'd like to entertain a motion to grant a waiver from the 100-foot road setback.
I'll make that.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
No, you.
Aye.
Aye.
You wanna make, you wanna say that the waiver is to allow for an 89-foot setback rather than the,
So the waiver would be to allow the 89-foot setback from the edge of pavement. It's actually 89.7, right? Something like that.
Plus or minus 11 feet.
Yeah.
Or 20.
So the setback would, to the nearest point of the building would be 89 feet as opposed to 100. So have a, we need a roll. Aye.
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 Motion carries.
So there's two things that I would like to ask for if it's appropriate. One, if the board, so we are going to be submitting the calculations regarding the stormwater amendment, which I'm assuming that you'll send to an engineer to review. Walden, Mr. Kenneth, he reviewed it last time, he was familiar with it. If we were to send it to Walden again, we're still working on that, that would be great. So if the board can discuss that, and if you have to vote on it, because we're hoping to submit that in advance of the next meeting. This way, Laura would be allowed to go ahead and circulate it to them for review. And if you need an escrow for that, let that be set tonight also.
You got
So
the
you would
okay.
you would just determine that you're selecting Walden to review this SWIP and
All right, everybody understand what that was about? So I'll need a motion to accept Walden as the engineering firm to review the stormwater.
Make that motion.
Thanks. All in favor?
Aye.
Got it.
Okay, thank you.
what do you have left in your escrow?
How much escrow?
I have not looked at that. What's left in the escrow?
They charged like 1,500 last time,
I think so.
not 1,000? It's gonna be less. I mean, it may even be.
It should be pretty straightforward, because we're just gonna talk about the less impervious area, so the
Layer
lesser
reduction.
requirement for the storage, and show that to them. Everything else is, the same.
We're gonna need to see assets first before we.
I would just say if the balance of the escrow does not have $1,000 in it, that you would just do.
Because I think there is stipulation too with
You're not supposed to go below a
below,
certain
I
amount.
think 2,000, I feel like, I think it's 2,000 if escrow goes.
Okay, I
below
didn't
2,000,
remember,
you
so
have to
then-
re-
Right, so the motion would be if the current escrow account can't reflect the additional cost, that we would raise it to 1,000, by 1,000.
Or to match, or to meet.
They have
Or
to bring
just-
it back up to
They need.
Right,
Right.
right, pass it.
Right, just ask.
Okay.
Right. There's really nothing else that's gonna be reviewed on
Somebody
that.
make a motion for that?
So moved.
John?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
We're good.
You are you doing a public hearing?
We need,
Walden, right, Walden can get it out to Walden, get it back, then we should have sufficient time, which is convenience, hoping for, that
yeah, so we,
schedule the public hearing.
we can,
now.
what's the date of the next meeting?
March 30th.
30th? Thank you, Nadine. That's,
Hold on, you gotta do a motion.
We gotta do a motion to set the public.
Yeah,
hearing.
we gotta set it, and then we gotta do a second.
we need a motion to set the.
So move.
John,
Set for the
we
30th.
need a second. Eric, all in favor?
Aye.
You submitted your EAF.
Yes, the EAF is there, everything else is there, thank you. And, the only thing would be the stormwater calculations. The plans show the updated SOOP information and soil erosion control information. It's just the hydrofile stuff we have to get in order to send in.
When do we need to see about the lighting and the signage?
The signage has not
Signage?
changed. That's still
It's
the
the same?
same.
Okay.
There'll be a sign on the building and then
Oh, I
the
thought-
sign location.
I thought you were talking about a monument. You hadn't decided something.
Nope, the monument
I
sign
missed that.
is the same and there's details on that.
Okay.
That's
Right.
the same. That we'll need to get a permit for.
I'm
Yeah.
been
And then the
sleeping.
lighting, right.
If you'll show us when you bring it back for the,
Yeah, I'll definitely get to that before the public hearing.
Lighting. Rick is just texting me, the architect, and saying he must be listening.
Yes.
Okay, saying that all exterior lighting other than lighting required by bank security standards will be fully cut off, dark sky compliant, and fully shielded with 3,000 Kelvin color temperature along the step down and motion sensor features.
Yeah, so the town requires a photometric plan, and so that's the thing that we'll update without all the grid numbers, but we'll update it with the footprint of the candles. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, we can do that. All right, thank you so much, everybody, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have a 3-lot subdivision on Lepler Road. And it's been kind of before us for a couple of months now. And I'd ask Bill, do you have anything you want to show us?
He doesn't want to be here.
Anything up there to show us?
A new development, I guess I should say.
I guess the primary thing that we've got since the last time we were here, and this is very recent, is just last week, we sent over the information for the stormwater prevention plan. So that's just really recent. Probably nobody's had a chance to look at it or do anything with that yet. I think that was what we were waiting for last time we were here. We said, okay, well, we're not going to move forward with anything until we got that. So that's what the board was really waiting for us to consider anything for them.
Sorry, I just had it lost in all of my stuff. I'm gonna pull it up.
All over.
I don't know if, Laura, have you gotten a response from any of the engineering?
Just right before I came in, Ted from,
Kimley Horn.
yeah, he said, what's your timeline? And I told him that we were still in public hearing, it was still open, but we just got the SWIP in and we were looking to try to move as quickly as we could, but he's the only one. But it didn't go out until, Friday.
Right.
3:00, so he's been the first one to respond though.
Great. We actually need a little more time for ourselves to go through this unless somebody wants to discuss it at this point.
I don't know what to discuss.
It's going to get sent to the engineer for SOAP review.
Yep. So I guess that's, there's one other thing is, who was doing the wetland delineation?
So that would just come, I would have that conversation with the engineer. So basically, I was gonna say that we had a meeting, a quick review meeting, and what Dave asked Laura to do was to send out an email to all the engineers that currently are on our list and see with the submission, what the timeframe and cost estimate would be, so to see who could sort of get this moving and not sitting on it for the next 2 months or 3 months. So, and then once that comes back, then you guys can
Mhm.
determine who's.
Okay.
Set the escrow.
That was why we asked.
We could technically set escrow and refer it at this point, right? Like, we just haven't heard back from these
Yeah.
other.
You can choose whoever. Yeah, Kimley Horn was the only one to respond. So
Well, we should probably wait for a response before we select one.
you don't.
We Yes, sir.
use Peak, right? So we
Well, we can't because they're the engineer. on
Because,
that.
They did the estimated.
I lost my list of engineers.
Yeah, I have
Peak,
it,
Kinley Horn, Brunier and Larios.
Yeah, I have it written here.
You can't go to Mendenbach and Acres because they're on, so
They did the SWIP, I thought, no?
oh, so you could go to,
Yes, that's what I was.
you did the Swip House. Oh, that's right, Caleb's on the, right? Okay, I saw that this afternoon and I didn't. You could just send it.
Walden or.
You could do Peak, Walden, Kimley Horn, CPL, or Bernier and Larry.
But we're waiting to hear if these people can fit it in, right? Is that their idea, Red?
Trying to get it in.
Instead of try to choose someone,
That is.
that's, I think we need to wait. That's all there is to it.
Or can you make the motion to just
Motion to just.
Friday, whoever has submitted
Yeah.
the shortest timeline?
Works for me.
And just shoot Peak an email because they weren't included on the list.
Mhm.
If we'd known, we would have talked to Nadine.
In the form of
Your motion is really just to set an escrow and then engineer to be determined at a later date, once we have some responses from.
Authorize the chair to select the engineer.
From whoever's responded by Friday.
And we set escrow for Bowman.
what we did.
That's where we set.
Yeah, I think we,
That's why Peak was included on it, because they were intended to be reviewed, and then we did set escrow. and the
Yeah, we
escrow-
didn't choose engineer, but we did set escrow. Yeah, we definitely set escrow.
without any more motions. or-
I thought that Peak was chosen, so like,
No, we didn't vote for an engineer because we hadn't had split yet.
We had a discussion about it.
We had discussion yet, but we never formally voted, but we did formally vote for escrow. Escrow's been established.
I mean, so you
established with
could,
the account.
you could choose, you could make a motion to work with Peak unless they are unavailable, and at that point, let the chair.
I'll make a motion to let the chair select the engineer.
Whether it's Peak or not.
Most
Yeah,
expeditious.
it doesn't have to be who.
All right, we need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I think that's
There you go.
not all we were gonna do on this one tonight.
It's your uncle.
We need a motion to keep the public hearing open at the call of the chair, right?
So I'll need a motion. A lot of motions tonight.
Right.
Second,
Is that Brendan?
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I haven't closed the public hearing.
No, it's still open.
We're still.
Keep it open at the call of the chair, right?
Yeah.
So we still have to make that motion every single meeting. That's the way I always done it, at least, I don't know.
I don't think you have to, but that's
Yeah, I mean, if it's open, it's open.
open, yeah.
So it's closed.
But it's a good, right, it's a good, like,
It's too much to remember.
That's a lot to read. Should I bring up?
you can just say that any written comments relate to the SWIP, you're gonna pass to the engineer.
So we've received a few written comments in the meantime, and we will certainly pass them on to the chosen engineering firm for their, to be part of their review. Thank you, Bill. Guess you're up again. And again, great. Our next item is a lot line adjustment.
Laura's singing, uh-oh.
One Drive,
uh,
I brought it back up.
It has to do with the Dean H. Canal Society and a lot line adjustment to facilitate their building of a small gazebo or something to create a
That's the
proper
question.
setback. So Bill, you could just explain to us briefly, because this is a pretty complex
So
one.
this is the now G.H. Canal Historical Society Museum. Presume everybody knows where that is in High Falls. If they don't, what are they doing living here? So the Canal Society owns numerous parcels of land in High Falls. And specifically, the parcel of land that the museum building is on has multiple buildings on there. You got the museum building, the former lock tender's house in the back of that, and then another, what do they call that over there? What do you use that for? Garage, studio, something in the back there. But the portion of the land adjacent to that, where they have the Christmas tree lighting and the canal lot there, is actually on a separate parcel of land. It's because it came through different owners in history. And currently, they would like to add some sort of structure to the museum property, but it's going to be too close to their current property line between themselves.
It's like here, right?
Right. So that's rather than seeking a variance to exceed the setback requirement there, they would just remove the property line between those two parcels and take that portion of that property, which is a part of a much larger piece that includes a lot of the canal, and add that to the Canal Museum building. So that just kind of makes more of a regular property.
So this is obviously the lot line to be deleted.
Right. And then down the bottom of your screen there, short line there, going across now, actually, the line proposed to be added in.
Right.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah,
blue line,
that line there.
which actually happens to be a previous property line and something else that they acquired some lands there years ago from the fire district.
Now, this parcel is also part of their holdings, is that right?
Yep, that piece there, and the piece to your left, of that is that long shape in there, which is a little canal slip. That's all also Canal Society land.
The rear have access from other.
Yes, yeah, that's the whole, that's what's considered the 5 blocks walk there, and that has access to roads in 2 different locations.
Is there any reason we wouldn't approve this?
Delane? I
No,
think so.
I don't. It's been blessed by our code enforcement officer. It's a no-brainer. Let's just go ahead and keep going.
We could just ask Bill whether in this process they could clean up the lines a little bit better, but
Whatever you want to add to that motion.
no, it's not a,
Okay.
I'm just saying that was the only discussion that we had. Looking at,
Do we need to make a motion to accept this application before we start?
I was just about to do that, but didn't want to interrupt the,
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Second.
we could, we could just put a little thing on the back of Dave's name tag that says, accept application.
Well, I'm reading down through our stuff and I just hadn't got to there yet. So I was getting there. So we have a motion, we have a second.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
And
Make a motion to accept this.
well, we need to classify it.
Do you?
So,
Unclassified.
make a motion to classify this as a type 2 under secra.
Motion.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any other discussion on this?
I can make the motion to accept it.
And, let's take a look at the determination.
Good there. I'm gonna go all the way down so we can go through all that.
I'm good. Just drop it down a little bit more. Do you see any changes that need to be made or? No.
Seven. Who actually features are? I'm gonna ask Bill. Existing.
Number 7, Bill, are you able to?
Well, septic systems and things like that are on the Canal Museum property. And that is on the parcel that's being acquired. So we're adding land to it. We're not-
No, it's just the final plat shall include.
shall include the items required.
So if you don't know where those items are, then just ask for the waiver.
That'd be easier. We do have some indications of where the septics are. You know, water, now you're on the, because of, my fault water.
Yeah.
My fault water district.
Strike that.
You're not adding anything, right? So we don't need to see. Exactly. It's gonna be one lot.
Right, it's just that the code requires those things, so they should ask for the waiver so that you,
Yeah,
right, so that you waive those requirements.
I'll make a motion to waive.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What's that? Yeah, you should do roll for waiver.
On the waiver?
And are you waiving all of those? Because the structures are there. I would just say
You're just waiving
wells,
seven, right?
Well, the septic,
reserve
Well,
areas.
whatever,
We waive 7 totally?
We want the buildings on them.
You can still grant the waiver for all of it, and they can show whatever.
They want.
that's what I was thinking.
Eric first, Brendan with second, and then you'll just do.
Okay, aye,
Aye.
Aye.
motion carries. But that's just the waiver, so we need a motion to approve the determination.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Who was second?
John.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You gotta do a roll.
Roll.
Aye.
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 Done.
All right.
Thank you.
That was a tough one.
Too many piles here.
Laura's order for loading you.
I thought I had, should have one for Atwood Road. Maybe that's here.
Sure.
What I need to home?
Ah, it is.
Yes. Yeah. So it's in your special pile.
And this is Joe Can Road. So that-
It had a different label on it.
Oh, might have folded it differently. Might have folded backwards.
Yeah. All right, next up on the agenda, we have a lot line adjustment for parcel on Atwood Road. And Bill, you're up again.
Yeah. I'm so glad the town of Rochester canceled their meeting tonight. I had 3 things on the agenda there also.
You're just like a super guy.
It would have been like Superman flying down to Akron.
They start at 7, right?
No, 6:30.
Oh, 6:30.
You're late.
Just run us through this one. This is pretty simple.
So this is a lot line revision. This is out on Atwood Road or Route 213 West. And I'll use John's pointer.
Please.
It looks complicated, but it all gets simple in the end. So Elizabeth Benjamin, she has a house right here, it's a stone house with a barn right close to the road in the place. And her property is this little somewhat rectangular parcel here. And within that, you see this line around the house. There was a subdivision actually that was done by a previous owner that separated out this parcel, this vacant land in the back. So she purchased this as 2 separate parcels that was approved by the planning board. Got the reference here someplace. The video of that, so you can see where it was. It was probably almost 20 years ago that was done, but she purchased that. There's this long piece here adjacent to her with a little house and garage right here that just recently came up for sale. And she decided to purchase that, and with the eye towards cutting out the minimum lot size here. This is just kind of a modest house here. And really all this land is way more land than somebody wants to pay for this house with all this land. So what she's planning to do, she wants to do a lot line revision, cut out the minimum lot size here, 3 acres, with a little house, put all the rest of this land all together, join her parcels together, and make this all one big piece with the stone house here. And make this the separate piece. So she's going from technically 1, 2, 3 parcels to just 2 parcels. That's that.
Any discussion? Anybody have any questions or? Well, I'll entertain a motion to open and accept the application then. There's no questions.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Johnny was first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over the wire.
I was seconded.
So you don't even. Thanks.
And we'll need a motion to classify this under seeker,
Make the motion, type 2.
type 2. Did we make a motion?
Yep.
I did.
Second? All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Okay, let's take a look at the resolution.
Same thing with number 7.
Should we look at that in general?
That would
The
be,
existing houses, so the. Waive it. Do a motion to waive. You can do that first if you want, but we're looking at the whole.
Well, let's see what it, I mean, I'm sure the wording is the same.
Right, just a, because it's just a requirement.
We can get there.
Ready to go? You ready to go?
Yep. Good. Good.
Now we got.
You want to go back to the whereas, again, so you're reducing, I mean, it's not saying that in a sense, you're taking 3 existing parcels and reducing them to 2. Because you're really not dissolving parcel B, you're still creating a parcel. Does that make sense? Or
So for here,
so boundary between 3 existing parcels or
To
reducing.
create 2.
Right, reducing the number of parcels to 2.
so we're taking this 3. To reduce to 2.
Parcel B completely,
Type that out.
I don't,
Yeah,
parcel B is completely disappearing on your map.
since we don't really have a parcel.
That's why I'm wondering.
Application.
Okay, so take out the parcel B, right, and then that would be. Thank you.
Move Laura. You see something?
Just in the SBLs, sorry. Nope, that's fine, sorry. Right, and 34.2, that's being dissolved.
Yeah,
You can move on, Laura.
We need the waiver on 7 again.
Waive number 7.
Okay. Need a motion to waive condition number 7.
Moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We need a roll call.
Yeah, roll.
Aye.
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 All right, we need a, unless there's any other questions, we need a motion to accept the determination as written.
I'll make it motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Need a roll on that?
Yep.
Aye.
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 Thanks, Bill.
Get you some maps.
All right, looks like our last item is another one that's been kicking around a while. This is for KSV Properties on Ashokan Road. Do we have anybody here representing them?
No, because we just needed to do code for engineer.
All right, we just need to establish an engineer, right?
This is the one where Peak is the engineer who did this.
Yes.
This is the one. I got this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all, I get them.
So we need to establish an engineer. Do we?
Call, like, give you the authority to.
Yeah, or at the call of the chair. Either way, we need a motion.
So moved.
Need a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. We have a couple of other little,
I don't think we have established escrow for them.
it's been so long, I don't remember.
No, I went back and looked. We did not. We did not establish escrow for them.
All right, what would be reasonable, 1,500 for a SWIP review?
Make a motion for $1,500.
Need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
We're gonna do roll, I believe.
Aye.
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 Got it.
Well, apparently I need thank you, everybody, for putting up with my, but we need a co-chair. And
Or vice chair.
vice chair, or right, vice chair. So, Harry, I feel bad that I haven't been able to get a hold of you, but you're the one I would be turning to.
I accept.
All right. So we need a motion to nominate Harry Hansen as vice chair of the planning board.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Did you need to close the nominations now?
It was a close vote. Thank you, Harry. I appreciate that. And what else we got?
If you're gonna say that, you're gonna be vice chair.
Has everybody had a chance to review the December minutes? Motion to approve the minutes of the December meeting.
Moved.
Sure. All in favor?
Aye.
And finally, we need a motion to adjourn the
Not
meeting.
yet, though. Actually, I just need to talk to you guys for one
Ah,
So, in the last 2 months, we've been going over this,
all right.
zoning overlay districts, and I know
Okay.
Jonathan, give me that look. I have a red line copy of the law already. It's just, we've been working through a lot of different iterations and making a lot of changes. As soon as I have the non-red line copy, so you're not sifting through 8 pages of stuff that got thrown out, I'll forward it to all of you guys for you to review, and then the town board's gonna have to make an official motion for you guys to review it officially. But you have it before them regardless. It's the creation of 2 zoning overlay districts. So basically 2 districts within existing zoning districts where we can create more dense housing is essentially the thought behind the law is to allow for either 2-family, 3-family, cottage court, or multiplex housing. The 2 areas that are targeted currently are Stone Ridge and High Falls area. We've got boundaries drawn and what the specific regulations around that looks like. I think it's a really good step in the right direction for creating some more housing for workforce housing. I mean, affordable housing is a term that now kind of has this like negative connotation behind it, but I don't see it as that. So regardless, we'll have that to you guys shortly for your review and comment. And yeah, that's really all I have.
You know, if we've had additional dwelling units, is that people beating down the
The
door?
ADUs?
Yeah. No one's beating down the
I
door
think
for them.
there's been a handful of applications, but it's not like since we passed that law, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, the nature of construction is just how expensive it is and people are looking at it and it's just like, what's my return on investment here? You know, so the ADU law was certainly by and large a step in the right direction. Has it solved our housing crisis? Not at all.
You suspect that this
I
overlay
think that
district
this-
will,
I think that this
make
will
some difference.
possibly bring in some,
Large scale.
yeah, some
Larger.
larger scale developers who would be, I mean, and the whole letter of the law really maintains not stepping away from the historical characteristics, the agricultural characteristics of the town. And you'll see this within the law too. There's actually a portion of it where you guys, the planning board, you obviously would still go through the typical planning process. So it's not like we're gonna be bypassing the planning board or anything with this law. Like you guys will still see any, you know, future proposed developments would still be coming through the planning board.
Max, just a simple question is, does everybody understand what an overlay district is?
Well.
Yes, no?
we will.
Well, no, just so you understand like the concept, not,
So we have certain density requirements, certain lot coverage, even the houses, like the height of houses, like this is all very specified within our code. This just adds a layer to that, which allows us to maybe, sorry?
Lean in there.
Yeah, a little bit of leniency and just, it creates the opportunity for a developer to come in and create housing that, you know, we desperately need with it.
But it's not a blanket, but it's not a blanket waiver.
No, not in
it just,
any-
there's criteria, and then if they meet those criteria, they can, it's still, then it becomes an approvable project, but it's separate from the base level zoning. So if you have an area that's designated as, you know, 1 house per 3 acres, and your code right now caps what you can even do if you have, like, how many houses you can build if you have excess acreage, right? To 3, I think, or 4. This gives you another layer in designated areas where people can make applications under specific.
Yeah, it's basically a rezoning of wherever you're delineating. That's what it's really
I wouldn't
doing.
necessarily call it a rezoning because the
You're creating
the existing zoning district still exists in that area,
Right.
but then you have a new set of rules that applies over top of that, that doesn't necessarily invalidate the existing zoning. It just allows you to maybe,
Change the density.
yes.
Or do different things.
Change the
based on
zoning.
different, right, or do,
Case by case
You can
scenario.
call it what you want, but it's a rezoning.
And
Me.
so we actually are creating 2 new zoning districts,
Right.
yes. And part of this also, and this is the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is, something I started a while ago was like, there are several places in the code that, A doesn't quite match up with B to C all the way through, and we're trying to, iron out those kinks and straight. And so you'll see this in the law, we've got what it'll basically be is a new use table for these 2 districts. And then when we do the overhaul of the whole code, that addendum will be integrated into the existing use table. The use table right now is just pages long, and very. It also has this. I think this is another good part. We have parking regulations clearly spelled out in a chart versus, just sentence after sentence, and you're trying to make it work in your head by reading all this. Versus now it's laid out very clearly in a table, and in discussion with our planner. The idea isn't just to maximize parking wherever you go. Like everybody should have as much parking as they should possibly fit on a lot. The American Planning Association has basically said you should have minimum parking standards and maximum parking standards, so that you are not creating these just pavement graveyard, just and so. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in there. I can't wait to forward it all to you guys and get your input, and then we'll make an official motion at the town board to review it for you guys to review it.
Yeah, I like the idea of the maximum,
You do like the maximum?
of having a
Oh, a
maximum.
maximum, yeah.
Well, there's some really amazing statistics out there. If you, I think there's something like 3 parking spaces for every car there is in the country. There's 3 parking spaces, and that's speaking in broad terms. Obviously not specific to Marbletown, but we have our
As we know.
issues with parking. But hopefully this clarifies a bit of that.
Good. Look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, you'll have it soon. I mean, I haven't checked my email today on that end, so maybe I have it, and
Relax. Everyone's shoveling, Max. Everyone's shoveling.
yeah, I was in bed. Yeah, that's all I got. Now, you guys have anything you want me to pass on to the town board? I know you got something, John.
My lips are sealed in public.
Can, tighten up on the dog.
Hey.
the town of Hurley gives, permits for their transfer station to their volunteer boards.
Oh, really? That's a good idea.
That'd be
We
nice.
just rewrote the transfer station stuff last month.
Everybody.
Just missed that right in. That.
So now I gotta move to Hurley?
You just gotta bring the garbage
Down.
This was a resolution by the town board.
Rochester pays their board.
Right, that's true. Do they pay their planning board, Rochester? Really?
Wow.
I have not heard that, except for usually it's like Long Island and the city pays. You get tax credits.
Did I just see something about firefighters and ambulance drivers get
Yeah, you get a percentage.
property tax wiped out?
wiped out? I don't think so.
That may be in Long Island, but here, I think it's like a
I'll move.
10%.
I can drive an ambulance, yeah. I'm not sure a stunt driver.
Anything else, Max? Or,
That's it for me.
all right, motion to adjourn?
You got it.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Very good meeting, Dave.
Max, next time you ask me.
A lot accomplished. Look at that pile in there.
You don't gotta-
That's a.
I'll say, I don't know what you're talking about.
Dog came running down on our property, yelling, "Get your dog!"
Who's that?
Someone from the trails, their dog came running down to our property.
Oh,